Anthony Joshua versus Gary Cornish. I predicted that this fight probably wouldn't get beyond the first round. Unfortunately, I was correct. Anthony Joshua won by knockout. I think it was his quickest ever knockout. It happened within the first 90 seconds of the fight, which was disappointing. You know, obviously entertaining in the sense that you get a quick, brutal knockout. Disappointing in the sense that you'd like to see a bit more competition and a bit more of a test. Now, believe it or not, despite the fact that I was on this channel saying that Gary Cornish was nobody and Gary Cornish had no chance, I actually did place a last minute bet on Cornish to win. A mate of mine brought it to my attention that you could get 50 to 1 on Gary Cornish on Betfair, which kind of suggested how competitive this fight would be. But I thought I'd have a few quid on him at 50 to 1. Not because I was expecting him to win, but just because I thought, you know, we got a 6'8" bloke here. He's never lost in the amateurs, never lost in the pros, against Anthony Joshua, who looks like an excellent prospect, but fundamentally is unproven. So I wasted a few quid on that bet, which probably wasn't the smartest move. In terms of the fight itself, Cornish came out, and I was actually quite impressed by Gary Cornish for like the first 10-15 seconds of the fight. Yeah, he seemed to have desire. For me, he actually did come to win, Cornish. He didn't come just to lay down. You know, he tried to come forward, he tried to press the pace, he tried to establish his jab early on, and there were one or two times, you know, I was watching it with my brother, and I said to him, like, oh, what's Cornish, you know, got here? Has he got something to offer, you know, because he came out and he looked half decent. Then, sort of very early on, maybe let's say 30-40 seconds in, Joshua kind of caught him while Cornish was throwing. You know, Cornish has kind of left himself a bit open. Joshua, to be fair, timed the punch well and caught Cornish with a bit of a hook on, you know, short hook, dropped Cornish. To me, it didn't look like Cornish was badly hurt. It looked more like a flash knockdown. But when he got up, his legs weren't overly steady, and you know, pretty quickly, Joshua was able to close down the reins again and drop Cornish. And again, when Cornish went down the second time, I said to my brother, like, I think he'll get up and he'll fight on. He doesn't look badly hurt. You know, he's not on the floor in a heap. And he did get up. I think he got up at the count of 9, but his legs were just, yeah, he was all over the place. And the referee called it off. And to be honest, if I was the referee, I'd have probably stopped the fight. Not because Cornish was like, you know, badly hurt, but he looked like he was a bit all over the place. It would be questionable whether he was able to defend himself, and the next punch or two from Anthony Joshua could have badly hurt him. So it was probably a fair stoppage, even though it was relatively swift. Yeah, Cornish, where does he go from here? He's going to have to rebuild, isn't he? I think one of the key issues for Gary Cornish is he had no step-up fight whatsoever. You know, he hasn't been promoted with money behind him like Anthony Joshua has. So there's been no Kevin Johnson test for Cornish. There's been no Michael Sprots for Gary Cornish. And he almost needs to rebuild and take a few interim fights against that level of opponent. I do fear, with questions about his punch durability and questions about his power, whether he may become more of an opponent type fighter. Yeah, would Peter Fury be inclined maybe to stick Huey Fury in with him? Would you know, that sort of, could he be used in that sort of fashion? It wouldn't surprise me if he becomes a bit like a Tom Dallas of the scene, if you like. For me, he doesn't hit hard enough. He's defensively open, and you know, the chin isn't there, and that's not because he got dropped and stopped by Anthony Joshua. You know, there were chin concerns prior to that. Obviously, he got dropped by a journeyman. I think the journeyman had something like a 3-10 record who dropped him, which you know, isn't the best sign. But Cornish, you know, he came to fight. He had a bit of desire. As I say, looked half decent for tiny spells, but Joshua was able to close the range. He was able to time Cornish. He was able to find a gap in his defence and stop him. It's a good win for Anthony Joshua. Very good win. I did say this, for me, the Kevin Johnson win is a more impressive win. Johnson is a more solid opponent than Gary Cornish in my eyes. Beating Gary Cornish from a form perspective doesn't actually mean that much. You know, because Cornish himself has never beaten anyone in the top 200, I think, as Dillian White said. But nevertheless, good performance from Anthony Joshua. He looked much more devastating than Dillian White did tonight. Admittedly, possibly against an inferior opponent, but yeah, he's going into the Dillian White fight with a load of momentum, and yeah, that's one to look forward to now. So well done to Anthony Joshua. I think that makes him 13-0 or 14-0 all by stoppage, and yeah, he looks like he's progressing. Let me know your thoughts on the fight. How did you see it go? Many thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. I've got lots of videos coming next week, so I don't want anyone to miss out. Please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.